to Elk Grove and beyond.
Oh no!
Well, hello YouTube. Ben Autism user here. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I am going to give out what's it like for me to live on the autism spectrum disorder as a kid. So I enjoy it. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2 years old back in November 14th, 2000. If any of you recognize a sign of autism, great, but there are other signs of autism I also recognize. Some kids with autism can be good at remembering dates, like for example, November 14th, 2000 was the date that I was diagnosed with autism. My first time riding my scooter to Elk Grove was back on October 21st, 2018. That is an example of a sign of autism, remembering dates and repeating it. A sign of autism I also like is repetitive motion or repetitive word phrases. For example, I quote Disney's The Lion King. So I quote the quotes repetitively when I'm around some friends. And a sign of autism I recognize is I like to make things up a bit with Reese's and Pepsi. I repetitively say, proud Pepsi, hypocritical Pepsi, not sorry Reese's. Those of you who wonder where did I get those from, I got not sorry Reese's from the commercial, so I started repeating that. I take time to focus on the subject, and then I start to remember it and repeat it over and over again. A sign of autism I also recognize is I have unusual attachments to objects, like Pepsi cans, for example. I pretend, for example, that Pepsi cans can be balls, and I do like this. I have 2 Pepsi cans here, and I do it like this. Hey, how many Pepsi cans does it take to screw in a light bulb? 0, because if you use them to screw in a light bulb, the light bulb will get wet and flicker. Another sign of autism you recognize what I'm doing just now? Sensory overload. Sensory would mean like loud noises can, due to my autism, I'm sensory sound intolerant because I'm autistic. So like for example, engine noises like a semi-truck engine or a school bus engine are very loud. So when it comes to those cars pass by me, that's when I just plug my ears and wait until the noise is over. So air horns can be also an example of a sensory that I struggle with when it comes to autism. When it comes to being in crowded places, excuse me. Another sign of autism I recognize inside me is when it comes to crowded places or loud noises, it can bother me a lot. So crowded places can easily overwhelm me because I'm autistic. And another thing I like is I like routine. I like doing what I'm familiar with. I get affected when it comes to routine changes. Well, except for going to church at Rest Life Church on Sundays, that's a routine I do. But I'm used to changing that routine because of my high-functioning autism. I ride my scooter to Elk Grove to go to church with some friends that live there. When it comes to April, which is Autism Awareness Month, I wear blue on Autism Awareness Month. Who remembers, for example, wearing this back then last year? Anyone? That's fine. So guys, if you notice my shirt, Autism Speaks. What else could I do? Oh yeah, signs of autism can happen anytime. Like it can happen when I'm playing tag with some friends. When it comes to playing tag with some friends, I repetitively say some word phrases. Like when it comes to playing tag here, because I'm autistic, I repetitively say word phrases from movies. Like, the choice is yours, Scar. Step down or fight. That's not gonna work, Scar. I put it behind me. That's a sign of autism. I also repeat, when it comes to playing tag, I say, not sorry, Reese's. When nobody sees me, they still hear me. What else? else can I do? Those of you who know, when it comes to autism, I can have a hard time finding the right words to say, like right now. So, what else can I think of? Other hobbies that I do like to do is ride my scooter, go jogging out in the neighborhood. I sometimes ride my scooter through the neighborhood, but I mostly walk. How do I use transportation independently? I take the bus or the light rail train. I also ride my scooter. So what else do I do? Signs of autism. Other repetitive word phrases I repeat is, hey, is there a place around here that sells Reese's or Pepsi? Who's familiar with me saying those words over and over again? And the sensory overload when it comes to here, because I'm autistic, when it comes to tag players screaming, that's when I do this a lot. So that's what happens. So, some kids and adults with autism can laugh at something that people normally wouldn't get or laugh at. Like, for example, where's my Mountain Dew? Or where's my Pepsi? Or I laugh at, for example, dysfunctional families breaking stuff all over the house, and that's what I laugh at, and that's what I think is funny, for example. Now, another hobby that I do, perfect hobbies that are helpful for adults and kids with autism is you could play video games. If you have a kid with autism or adult with autism that wants to find a hobby, here's some hobbies you can do. Get either a Coca-Cola and a Pepsi and put Mentos inside it. Mento, put it in here. I did it before, and that's when I decided I want to make this content. I want to routinely do this. So YouTube vlogging Mentos and Coca-Cola can be a routine and a hobby for YouTubers with autism. And yeah, that's what I think of.
What's a good way that we can celebrate you instead of clapping that's a little quieter? What would you prefer?
I can't.
Are snaps okay for you?
I guess that would work.
All right, it's not too noisy?
If next time I can find some headphones that could work, and then you can clap.
Sounds good. Well, y'all, give us some quiet snaps for Ben. Do you have a question, Faith? Go for it.
Huh? Yeah?
What's your YouTube account, Ben?
Ben Autism User. If you want to know how to type it correctly, there's only one space between Ben and Autism User. So type in Ben, press the space button, and type in Autism User. Don't put any space between it. It's 2 words. Ben Autism User.
How many followers do you have right now?
I subscribe.
972!
Thank you so much. Do you want to pray us out?
Sure.
Awesome. We are going to pray, students. God is going to pray us out. So let's choose a posture of prayer that is respectful.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Reverent.